disgrace to your Iranian brothers.
Four different types of blacks. You said the blacks, the house, and then the third and the fourth, which I'll let you say right there. There's a thumbnail to your
Yeah.
video. How do you fix some of those issues that's being done right now in the black community?
Three things. Crime. You've got to be really tough on crime. And when I mean that, for the black community, you've got to be tough on crime. Not just, white people or any. Black people have to be tough on crime because at the end of the day, it's us. We're dealing with it. Definitely for murderers. I'm big on that. Drug dealers, rapists, people who do the harsh and very heinous crimes in our community. We've got to be very aggressive in combating them. That's something we don't want to have a conversation about. We're looking at a lot of these cases.
Who doesn't want to have a conversation about that? What are you talking about? Looking at this brother, I don't think he has any contact with black people. There's no way you can make that position and have any contact with black people. So you saying everybody else in the country recognizes the dangers of, molestation and drug dealing, killing, but only the low level blacks seem to be executing all of these heinous crimes. And the whole black community can't seem to understand that these are bad. Listen to the concepts that you're coming up with out of your lips.
Where we have individuals who are very undesirable, and we're looking to defend them. Look at the Carmelo Anthony case. People are defending him, not because he's innocent or not because he's a good person. This wasn't a doctor or a lawyer. It's somebody who murdered somebody, and people are.
See, he's speaking in trope, right? Now this is why I'm starting this series, right? Because we're gonna point out we know nothing that you're saying is genuine, but I want the audience to see it, right? I want everybody else to understand that nothing that you're saying is genuine. You're saying things that you think you people want to hear. You're saying things that you see in the comment section, right? You're repeating Twitter posts and Facebook posts as talking points. This is what they do. This is how they push their message. This is why they all have the same talking points. They all sound like non-playable characters because they get all their cues from idiots who are reading comments, right? The usual suspects. Or like he just said, oh, it's not a doctor and a lawyer. Anytime you go to the comment section and you see white people commenting about black people and whatever's going on in the video, that's what they're saying. Oh, that's a future doctor. That's a future lawyer. So again, just saying catchphrase buzzword jargon so that your white supremacist following can give you some butter biscuits.
To defend that just simply because he's black rather than because he is innocent. That's a big problem that we have. We will defend criminals and killers before we defend doctors.
High school, student athlete, and you talking about he's not a doctor. He's in high school. Listen to the framing that this dude gives, but this is what they all do to dehumanize you. And when you watch other people do it, it's one thing, but to see your own do it, it reflects it reflects differently, to be honest. It reflects differently. And for him to not consider himself a house Negro or a coon is amazing. He thinks he's just a regular black guy. Candace Owens, she the one came out and finally admitted it. She knows the right only uses black people to talk down on other blacks. The moment you start talking about anything besides uh, black men being bad, you lose your entire subscription base.
Lawyers, the best and brightest in our community.
What's your biggest problem with the Carmelo Anthony case? Because there's a lot of stuff that came out.
There is, yeah.
If you want to go through it, there's a lot of stuff that came out. I think they ended up, Rob, how much money did they raise? $700,000 or so on GoFundMe? that people try to help them out. None of that was used apparently for the legal fees. I think that was a public defender. But
Yeah.
what is your
Again, even the way Pat is framing it, they could not use the money. The Give Send Go money could not be used for lawyers, just like the Give Send Go money cannot be used in the Chuck the Builder case. These people are disingenuous and just outright liars, right? Of course, he had a public defender. His family didn't have access to the money.
core problem with the Carmelo Anthony case?
Well, my problem is this: just because somebody, I said this on Twitter, if Carmelo Anthony was being bullied, just because he was being bullied doesn't mean you go out and murder somebody. If that's the case, then every school shooter is justified in going to do what he does because he's being bullied. Um, and then also this idea that
So that right there probably is where the thought ends, right? That's the only real thought you made this entire time. You're getting bullied. You go out and you stab somebody, or you go out and you shoot somebody in retaliation. It's not justified. But I don't think that's what this is. It's not a retaliation premeditation situation. Again, you said one thing that made sense, but the logic stopped right there.
you can't move me. Oh, I can go wherever I want. I can sit wherever I want. It's like, no, you can't. You can't sit wherever you want. Someone tells you that you can't be here. You can't be here. Get on somewhere.
What? Again, what other person, what other demographic of people is required by law or by the public square's perception or perspective of you that you have to get up and move around because another citizen tells you you can't be somewhere? No authority to tell you that, no jurisdiction over you, but because you're black, you have to move around. Is that what you're saying? Like, bro, what is you gotta dissect the undertones and you gotta peel back the layers on this token max because they speak in dog whistles and Twitter captions. You gotta be well versed in dog whistles and Twitter captions.
Or go get somebody that can actually challenge it for you. We have this mindset that we're entitled to.
Watch him, he flipped that on his head. Carmelo Anthony had all rights to be under the tent based on all the evidence. All the other tents for other schools weren't even set up yet. It's raining. Kids are gathering under the tent. He was invited there. If those kids wanted him removed, they should have went and gotten an adult who has jurisdiction and would tell him to move. That's the proper chain of custody or the proper chain of command to go through. This token gated token maxer decides to flip the logic on his head and give the burden to Carmelo Anthony in this situation, right? And I don't want to keep talking about the Carmelo because this is just sensationalized race baiting. But this is the only thing that these guys know how to do. They give red meat to the racist base to continue getting AdSense and booked for these different interviews. It's a hustle, right? It's a hustle. And just like the sellout of the past who did it for money, the sellout of today is doing it for money. It's no different. And so I don't want these people to get a special pedestal. These guys are no different than the sellouts we've been dealing with since we came up out of slavery.
You want. Someone tells you that you can't be here. You can't be here. Get on somewhere. Or go get somebody that can actually challenge it for you. We have this mindset that we're entitled to every space and that nobody can move us at all. And that anywhere we go, that if somebody tells us to do differently, we're going to do the opposite. Now, it's a good mindset to have that on a positive direction. Someone tells me,
Bro, you sound like a cuck. You literally sound like a cuck. Somebody comes up to you and tells you, hey, you can't be here, move around. And you say, you know what? Let me get up and move. Are you a bitch? Like, bro, I don't have to do nothing that's against the law. I mean, that's not against the law. If I'm in my right to be where I'm at, you have no right to tell me to move. What gives you the right or the authority
do this and I don't think it's good for me, I'm going to go in the opposite direction. Or I'm going to be looking at things from a perspective, I want to do my own and go in my own way. But no, black people are like, no, if white people came out tomorrow and said, drink water, drinking water is good, niggas will come out tomorrow and say, drinking water is bad. Maybe you should drink dirt or something. I don't know. Maybe you should drink mud.
Why though? Is it because white man's the enemy?
It's become that.
Fuck no. What you just said is not logical. Nothing that just these guys they just beat up on straw men. They can't have a real intellectual. I would smoke this guy in a debate. This is what I need to try to figure out. How can I line up a debate against Andrew Williams on the problems in the quote unquote black community? Because everything he's identifying as black problems, they are American problems. Last I checked, America has a gun violence problem. Last I checked, America has a drug problem. You ever seen Breaking Bad? You ever seen Shameless? You ever been to Montana? You ever been to North Dakota? Have you ever been to Idaho? I've been through all these places over the road getting money. And I'm telling you, it's dope holes everywhere. It's meth smokers, crack smokers, heroin addicts, pill poppers, and pill smokers everywhere. All demographics are represented. That's a fact. It's the American way.
It's become that. White man is the enemy. And the enemy at the end of the day is ourselves. When we look at the communities, every problem that exists is because of us. Now, we could talk about the historical conditions and what happened, but this is in the 1970s and 80s. Where I would say that argument holds up well. The residual effects of Jim Crow still exist in hiring, banking. I would say that.
Our enemy is Western white supremacy. That's the enemy. And that's the culture. That's the culture of the West. White supremacy is the culture of the West. Anti-black racism is the culture of the West. And so that's our actual real enemy. And it produces anti-blacks like you. The Western culture, the anti-black Western culture produces tokens like yourself. Let's keep going.
If this was 1970s and 80s, I would agree. But this is the 2020s going to the 2030s. My generation, Gen Z, there's nothing holding me back from going in a positive direction, going in a better direction. There's no
Nobody's arguing that. We're arguing about the systemic things and the acts done against, right? He said the 70s and the 80s as if like the effects of Jim Crow will be felt by the people, you know what I'm saying, that was still growing up in the 70s and the 80s. Are you dumb? Have you never heard of the war on drugs? Have you never heard of the crack era? Do you not know about Freeway Ricky Ross? Do you not know about the Nicaragua, what's it called? The um the Iran Contra, right? When they was down there in Nicaragua moving the birds and for the guns, right? What are you talking about, bro? Then Big Pharma pushing the pills, right? And getting all the people in Middle America strung out on pills from the 80s all the way through to the early 2000s, just to turn around and advertise it in rap music, right? The drug culture is American culture. I can show you shit all the way back from the 1890s where they was abusing morphine coming out of the war. 1870s abusing morphine coming out the Civil War, especially heavy in the South. So again, I'll smoke this guy in the debate. He's just spewing anti-black tropes, and they're surface level tropes. Nothing deep dive, nothing that you got to pull a bunch of studies to combat. He's providing nothing but tropes, so they can be combated the same way.
nobody holding me back systemically, saying that I cannot go somewhere and I cannot do something. We believe that everything, every fight, cases like this, is like another civil rights case. It isn't. They killed one of ours, so or one of ours is in trouble. We got to defend.
Freudian slip. See, he couldn't say that one because that's how his base moves. White supremacists are collectivists by nature. You see that Jarutska woman who died on the train? The statement actually was, yo, that's your sister, that's your niece, that's your daughter, that's your wife. That's like, bro, they literally they get behind any white person who's killed by a black person. So for you to even take that position, you had to doctor that, but it's a Freudian slip. Watch it again.
That everything, every fight, cases like this, is like another civil rights case. It isn't. They killed one of ours, so or one of ours is in trouble. We got to defend them no matter what. What does it do? It shows the level of tribalism and instability within our community, the lack of control, self-control that we have. We can't exist going in this direction. But
Everything that he's saying can be said about the white identitarian, getting behind the Chud the Builders and the Zaruskas and when Lily Gaddis gets canceled and everybody, they just take up the mantle because they're white and they put it under the guise of something that you think you're crafty. You're not. Free speech has become the dog whistle for I should be able to say the N-word. I should be able to harass you and you should be able to take the harassment. Meanwhile, we show the same people like the Myron Gaineses of the world who, when questioned about if you can be disrespected in your face, they tell you you need to back down. But when they are facing the same adversity, they're making threats. They're saying what they would do. And we seen in the same situation, even a white guy towards Myron. White guy told Myron, hey Myron, I'm in Florida, in Miami. I'll kick your ass. Why is he trying to take a verbal bout into a fight? That's what they'll say, right?
I want to go back to you said about the three solutions. This is
Mhm.
very important. I
First, you said crime.
crime, being tough on crime. Second is education.
Mhm.
The schools in the black community, education is not focused too much. We care more about producing the next basketball.
He would see another Freudian slip. If he would have got on the schools, now we're talking about inadequate access to resources and how only thing that they keep doing is taking tax dollars, building new schools, and they're taking all the best teachers and moving them into new jurisdictions, into new counties to get paid a little bit more. Thinning out the schools, creating bad teachers or lackluster teachers in the inner cities, and the best teachers, the best and brightest in the suburbs getting paid a little bit more. But you don't want to talk about that, right? They gotta go school of choice to go to a good school just to have a chance. No, don't talk about that. Don't talk about the resource access. Don't talk about none of that.
Players, football players. And this is very true. People say, no,
Talk about football and basketball. No, that's not the case. You know what is advertised as? You know what it was for me growing up? Because I can see he wasn't tapped in. I don't know what his black experience was. My mom told me, you got to go to school and get an education, son. I might not be able to fund it. You're gonna have to figure out a way to get some funds for this education. This is what she told me. So a lot of people's way to get funding to be educated is to play sports and receive a scholarship, right? And in order to even get a scholarship, you have to maintain a certain academic prowess. You can't get into a university and be a damn flunky. You got to at least have a 2.3 or better. So in some institutions, they're not accepting student athletes less than a 2.8. Again, just negative tropes from the outside looking in.
this is a stereotype. Well, stereotypes exist for a reason. We care more about producing more entertainers than we do leaders. What leaders do we have in the community? I don't have any. Most of the leaders,
What are you talking about? What leader? What leaders are in the white community? What are you saying? Look, a leader is a leader of a household. You have a savior complex, brother. What are you talking about? You have a white man savior complex. What are you looking for? Like I'm so confused by that statement.
we care more about producing more entertainers than we do leaders. What leaders do we have in the community? I don't have any. Most of the leaders and heroes that black people have today, they don't mention rappers, football players, basketball stars. He's got money. He making money. I don't need niggas to make money. We need niggas to think for themselves and build for themselves. We got enough niggas making money. That's fine and dandy. You can make money in this country. It's a beautiful country you can make as much money as you want in this land. We need leaders, and this is the beautiful thing about America. We have dominated the world for the last century because we've made leaders in this country. All the money doesn't compare. Leaders have been made.
So Democrats would
I need a metric for this leaders. Because again, what are you looking for in a leader? We can show leader after leader, but you talking about worshiping and idolization. Are you coming from an idealization society? See, I know the British do a lot of idolizing of celebrities, and we kind of got that tabloid stuff passed down into the Americas. So I know we do have a lot of celebrity worship, but it's across American demographics, right? But I don't know this leader conversation. I don't think that it intertwines with the celebrity conversation. I think those are two different conversations. He's trying to muddy the waters. But I'm gonna keep letting him talk because he's not really saying anything of consequence.
say, you don't think Obama's our leaders? You don't think Barack Obama's a leader?
Obama is a symbol of black excellence that black people ignore. They look at Obama as more of a revenge symbol than a symbol of excellence. Some do.
That's the opposed. What, like, bro? Everything you're saying is like opposite. We did look for Obama as black excellence, and white people looked at Obama as revenge. See, but when blacks folk got the information on Obama, saying he wasn't really moving, particularly in the best interest of Americans or Black Americans, especially, niggas fell off Obama. But again, these are just tropes. These are things that you can see in the comment section anytime you get online. And what these right wingers do is they just repeat what the audience already thinks. It's a tried and true business formula.
Some look at him like, oh, Obama's a great person to look up to. But they get wrapped into the politics of it, the Democrat, Republican. I'm not looking at that. This goes back to what I said about looking at things from a realistic lens rather than this emotional blue team, red team lens. I'm looking at how the reality of things are more so than all the other petty stuff behind it. But Obama's fantastic in terms of what he symbolized. Now, the politics of it,
Well, that's where you fucked up. Correlation is not causation. This nigga looking at the end result, trying to get the information to lead to the end. Like, bro, that doesn't you can't get to the end starting there, brother. Like, what are you even saying? That's confirmation bias, to say the least. You're cognitively biased and you're anti-blackness.
him being a Democrat, what he's done underneath his administration, completely different. That's a completely different conversation. Going back to that education, it's very important for us to focus on education, being tough in the schools on their education, separating the kids that want to do well, that are educated, that want to work and show that they have this drive to do more. Separate them from the kids that are struggling.
Yeah, Rob, I think you have some stats on that if you want to pull it up on specifically with education. You had one of those charts that you did with Perplexity this morning. It shows bachelor's degree or higher degree by race. Okay, so if you look at this, bachelor's degree or higher by race, ages 25 plus, this is from the U.S. Census Bureau. Asians at the highest, 59.3. Whites 41.8, national 37.7, blacks 27.6, Hispanics 29. Why is that? Why is education not a priority based on these numbers?
Because we've pursued this idea that making money and being flashy with it is more of a goal and a priority than anything. Look at the high school graduations and the proms.
Yep.
Black people flashing a bunch of money, living a lifestyle that they'll never live, and celebrating like it's a wedding. And really, it is a wedding. It's a wedding that begins their marriage to mediocrity in the bare minimum. That's the unfortunate reality of it. And we don't have to be like this. The message I have today is that we don't have to be like this. This doesn't have to be our direction.
Yeah, so this Livingston looking at this nigga. Again, he just saying things that he's heard or seen in the comments. I would like to debate this guy. I'd like to debate this guy. I'm gonna review a couple more of his interactions with the public. I'll be back.